Good morning. We're going to make a video this morning, and it's concerning the crutch arm. There's maybe a half a dozen parts that go to the crutch assembly, but the crutch arm is the first thing I'm going to cut out using CNC. So we have two profiles here. The first profile is to make some little teeny tiny slots and a hole for the bushing that goes in the clutch arm. The slots are very tiny. They're for a 256 number 2 screw. So they're very tiny little slots that go either side of the bushing. And then we're going to run another profile cutting out the perimeter of the clutch arm. The clutch arm is 8 inches long, and it's got a couple of arcs or round areas in it. So the end mill we're using is a 1/16 inch standard end mill, and we're running a little bit slower speed today. I had some trouble using a different type of brass, a different alloy, and I broke several small end mills. So I'm going to slow things down. So we'll when we edit this video, we'll fast forward through that. The piece of brass is a piece of 353 brass. So that said, we're going to get things going here and cut this out. I see the end mill still got a little stuff on the end of it from a test cut that I made on another piece. We've used painter's tape on both surfaces, and we put the two surfaces together with super glue. So that's how we're holding the part down. And so I'm going to turn on the air and get things going here. So here we go. Might add that we're going down to the other end of the crutch arm, and we're going to make another little hole down there. It's a very tiny hole for an arbor that goes through there. You may not be able to see that in your viewer right now. Hopefully it doesn't keep going back and forth. It's going to take an awful long time if it does. I think after it seems like to me after it made the initial cut, definitely like I'm going to have to fast forward through this, and I'm not going to stop the program now. If I'd have known it was going to do this, I'd have made an additional profile. I didn't test run the profile in mock before we cut. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to quit talking now and let it run. I must say that this cutting the outer perimeter has been a long process. I definitely will fast forward through this when I edit. I just didn't want to take any chances because I broke a couple end mills before using a piece of probably 260 alloy, and that doesn't cut well. I've broken end mills with that before. So, and you can't find, you know, thin bar stock like this in 360. But McMaster-Carr did have it in 353, which is probably equally as good. So anyway, I didn't want to push the feed or the depth of cut so it's just taken a while. But that's all right. I've been standing here with my hands in my pocket, so I'm gonna shut the mill off now and see what I can do here. Shut the air off. Get the Z-axis out of the way. I got a touchy keyboard button here. Be careful. Okay. We'll move the table over. I smeared a little glue on the top of the shiny brass, but that's all right. We'll clean that off eventually. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. So, okay. What I'm going to do now is shut the camera off. I'm going to take a couple still shots, and I'm going to make a couple of remarks here that when I take the still shots, I'll shoot the wheels too, because the earlier in the week, after I cut out the first wheel in the video, the same day I cut out the rest of the wheels. So some of the wheels only took like 10 minutes, some of them took less than that, like 7 minutes to cut out. So they all went along just fine, and those all got cut out. I found all the bearing caps. They're bearing bronze, and they're just little caps that I'd cut previously. They were in a plastic bag somewhere, and I dug those out. So we'll get this off the mill and take a couple photos, and we'll get this published. Okay, thanks for watching, and sorry it's been such a slow process. Maybe I'll shoot I won't edit the first few parts, but and the last part, but the rest of it I think I'll just fast forward through it, because the process for cutting out the perimeter was probably 30 minutes or something. So I was only making a depth of cut of 5/1000ths, and I was only using a feed rate of 5 inches per minute, so it's not too fast. Anyway, I'll call off now, and we'll get this published.